What's going on, everyone, and welcome into Plizzon's podcast, filled to the brim with glitchy analysis and freezing cold takes so cold that they're boiling hot. Today's episode, we are talking strictly the Super Bowl. That's all. We're going through our X factors and our predictions, and last but not least, we're going to talk about whether or not Mahomes has a GOAT case. So let's get into first, the 49ers X factors. First up, Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner versus Travis Kelce. In my opinion, most important matchup out there. The Chiefs aren't the Chiefs from the 2019 Super Bowl. They're the Chiefs from this year, only averaging 21 points a game, and Travis Kelce is going to be the number one target for Mahomes. I know Rashee Rice is out there. I know that Pacheco is going to be running the ball, but Travis Kelce, obviously, third down situations late in the first half, and especially in the fourth quarter, is going to be the target for Mahomes. And it's going to be on Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner to make sure that that's stopped. I think the 49ers have the capabilities to do that, but it's going to be, obviously, the most crucial part of this game for the 49ers. Next up, I've got a Christian McCaffrey versus Nick Bolton chess match. The 49ers have to get the ball out of Brock Purdy's hands. If he does not, let's face it, I don't think he's going to be able to win the Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey is my favorite for Super Bowl MVP. I have him scoring 2 touchdowns and having over 100 scrimmage yards, but it's all going to depend on whether or not Nick Bolton has a good game. If he does not, the Chiefs defense might just be chalked. Third on my list, we've got the Chiefs pass rush versus the 49ers protection. Now, versus top 10 offensive lines, the Chiefs are averaging 3 sacks per game. I'm talking Baltimore, Detroit, Philadelphia style offensive lines. The 49ers don't have as good of an O-line as those teams, but versus top 10 pass rushes, the 49ers offensive line is only giving up 2.5 sacks per game. I think the pressure on Brock Purdy early is going to be a make or break situation. So if they can keep him in the pocket, keep him stable, then the 49ers can probably win this game comfortably. Now it's all going to be up to Spags, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, to draw up a scheme and ruin that plan. But for the 49ers, that is their third most important factor in this game. The fourth factor is getting the ball into your playmakers' hands. You've got Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, even Kyle Juszczyk. These guys are your special players. Get the football in their hands and let them go make special plays. I don't see any other formula for the 49ers victory other than bubble screens, rushes to the left, rushes to the right, and just slant patterns. I don't see deep routes winning the 49ers a football game, and I definitely don't see Brock Purdy rolling out in like a play action style play and taking off for 40 yards to secure the victory. Yes, Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, but these other guys have already been here, except for Christian McCaffrey. The 49ers have been here. They know what it takes to win, and I think getting the playmakers the ball is what's important. Those are my X factors for the 49ers. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Number one X factor for the Chiefs, get the run game established. If this 49ers team can absolutely destroy the pass game, which I do not think is that challenging given the talent in the wide receiver core for the Chiefs, this run game is chalked. Isaiah Pacheco has got to have an incredible game. A Damian Williams versus the 49ers in the 2019 Super Bowl type game. All that being said, if he can't have a 250-yard, 3-touchdown over 3-game performance like he has in the playoffs so far, the Chiefs just cannot win the football game, in my opinion. They've got to control time of possession and keep that 49ers defense on the field. To me, it is the weaker side of the ball for the 49ers. So I think the Chiefs taking advantage of that is the number one key. Second, got to figure out a way to scheme Travis Kelce into this game plan. Yes, I know he's the number one target, and I know that Andy Reid is working on that, but all eyes on the Chiefs or on the 49ers defense is going to be on Travis Kelce throughout the entire game. If you cannot get him going early, they're definitely not going to respect that late, and that is the huge issue for the Chiefs. I understand. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs, but this has to be like the play. Get Travis Kelce the ball on your first possession, your second possession, and your third possession. And then all your possessions going forward. Third, on the Chiefs' X Factor list, there is no deep ball. There is no Tyreek Hill to bail you out. Patrick Mahomes cannot make a Josh Allen type play. And I'm talking about playing hero ball and like extending it for a first down or chunking it downfield to Marquez Valdes-Scantling for like a 40-yard bomb. I don't see that being the style that the Chiefs can win this game. I think that's going to lead to a turnover, and the Super Bowl, like all NFL football, is about inches, not yards. Play safe and play smart. If Patrick Mahomes tries to go out and play hero ball like he did in 2020 versus the Buccaneers, they will lose this game. Now, it's a little different than the Buccaneers Super Bowl strictly because the Chiefs are healthy for this game, unlike 2020. But like I said, there is no room for error when it comes to this one. The 49ers will absolutely take advantage. So keep the ball safe, Patrick Mahomes. That's the third X factor. Fourth, and an underrated one at that, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, Rashee Rice. In my opinion, I did a draft preview on him. I said he was underrated, and I said he had a ton of potential. Second-team All-American coming out of SMU. He's had a phenomenal rookie year, over 900 yards receiving, and he had an extremely important game versus the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs. But to me, the Super Bowl might be the stage at which he cannot perform yet. I think that he will later in his career and become one of Mahomes' most important guys in his dynasty era. But right now, I don't see it. However, like I said, X factor, if he does have that style game that I'm not expecting him to have, then Rashee Rice will end up winning the Chiefs a Super Bowl. And now I'm talking about a 7-8 catch game for 90 yards and possibly a touchdown. I don't see that happening, but if that can, the Chiefs will definitely come out on top. Now, let's talk about predictions. In my opinion, the 49ers are going to win this Super Bowl, and they're probably going to do it comfortably. It's not that I don't think that the Chiefs are talented. I think I made a meme about, Lamar Jackson saving us from Taylor Swift, but this is not coming from a hate perspective. This is simply coming from an objective look at both rosters. The Chiefs, they have Pro Bowlers. They have Mahomes. They have Kelce. I even think Pacheco could be a Pro Bowler. But the 49ers, they have all pros. They obviously, yes, have Pro Bowlers. But Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, these guys are all pros. These are your generation, your decades teams players. To me, special teams, special plays, special players. Now, that's a little different from sketch, but the 49ers have the roster, in my opinion, the depth, the coaching, all of these advantages. I think the 49ers are going to win comfortably. If the Chiefs do come out, though, and win this game, in my opinion, it's going to be a Broncos versus Panthers, a Patriots-Giants or Patriots-Rams type Super Bowl. An absolute defensive slugfest until the fourth quarter, and then the popcorn comes out and things get interesting. However, the Chiefs, I just don't see it. Quite frankly, I just don't see them winning this football game. But if they do, like I said, it will be an all-out slugfest until the fourth quarter, and then Patrick Mahomes obviously will supersede Brock Purdy and show that he obviously is the MVP, the best quarterback, etc., etc. Now, speaking of Mahomes, the last thing that we're going to talk about in this episode is whether or not he can catch the GOAT, Tom Brady. Now, let me get this squared up. straightened out. Mahomes winning this Super Bowl is not going to make him the GOAT. In my opinion, it's not even going to get him into the conversation. However, this is a huge path game for Mahomes. Right now, he's 28 with only 2 Super Bowls. Now, I say that, I mean, he's got 2 Super Bowls. It's more than like Dan Marino and a bunch of other quarterbacks combined, obviously. But in terms of catching Brady to get to maybe even 6, not even 7, but 6, he's got to get his 3rd before he turns 29. Not everybody is Tom Brady. He is the outlier. If you don't believe me, ask Peyton Manning what it was like to play at 39. Ask Aaron Rodgers how his torn Achilles is going at 39. It's not working out for older quarterbacks outside of Brady. I think Mahomes can get to 6 Super Bowls in the next 10 years, but this one has got to be a win. If he goes and only has 2 Super Bowls going on to the next 10 years, he's got to win 4 in 10. That's pretty unheard of. The only guy to even remotely come close to that is Brady himself. That all being said, if he can win his 3rd and have 10 years to win 3 more, that's very possible. And I think that he could definitely get to the numbers that Brady's got. He's probably going to win more MVPs. It's all going to depend and hinge on this game. Because you have to think, he's got Chris Jones, he's got Travis Kelce, and he's got Andy Reid. These guys are not going to be around 5 years from now. And that's probably going to be like Brady's from like 07 or like 04 to 2014, his drought of Super Bowls. That's probably going to be Mahomes in the next 5 or so years because he's going to have aging out stars that just flat out cannot compete at the level that they once did. Now, Andy Reid's a little different case because he's a coach, not a player, but I think he's probably going to retire either next year or the next. All that being said, Mahomes, like I said, has a chance. I compare him a lot to LeBron, the Michael Jordan LeBron case. Like Michael Jordan, technically, he has more rings. He's 6-0 in the finals. And to me, I roll my eyes at that because I'm like, well, just look at the player that LeBron is. Obviously, he hasn't had as good of a teams as Michael Jordan's had, and he went up against a lot stiffer competition. But a lot of people just say, oh, well, Michael Jordan is 6-0. Tom Brady has that the fact that he's 3-0 against Mahomes. He beat him in the Super Bowl. He beat him in the AFC Championship game. But Mahomes will have the more talent argument, in my opinion. Mahomes, to me, is way more physically talented than Tom Brady is. It's all going to depend on whether or not the Chiefs can surround him with equivalent talent to what Brady had. Now, obviously, he elevated a lot of guys, but I think Mahomes can do the same thing. Just ask Rashee Rice, a rookie, a second-round pick who was not expected to even come close to 900 yards receiving. That is the type of guy Mahomes is. I think he will probably end up at the end of his career with 4, maybe 5 Super Bowls because I don't see him winning this one. But if he can win this one, my goodness gracious, he has the case to possibly surpass Tom Brady. Now, that conversation, like I said, 10 years down the road, not even close right now, but the track is there. Now, all of that being said, my Super Bowl quote-unquote bets, I guess, not currently a gambling man myself, but if I was to choose, I would slam the 49ers alternate spread minus 6.5, maybe even minus 7.5. I don't think this is going to be that close of a game, but if you are thinking about taking the Chiefs, take the under because I don't see this Chiefs team winning in a shootout. So if you think the Chiefs are going to win, slam the under. I think I'm just going to stick with the 49ers alt spread, and that's about it. This game is extremely complicated. Like I said earlier, an absolute chess match, and it's really hard to determine. Obviously, most people do not win money when gambling, and the people that do, a lot of them win by slim margins. So, gamble at your own risk. Be careful. Now that, my friends, is going to do it for our special edition Super Bowl episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and leave us a comment below, and we'll see you next time.